What is up, fellow humans of the cardboard? Today we're going over Time Thief combos, kind of the more basic combos. I want to say basic, they are pretty, in-depth and they go pretty far. But at least if I can show you these, it'll give you an idea of at least the base combos you need to know, and then you can build off of that the more you want to try and play this deck, especially the combo variant. So obviously here we're looking specifically at the Time Thief Raid Raptor Phantom Knight version of the deck. Very, very explosive, a little bit frail, can lose to certain hand traps in certain spots, but if it pops off, you win the duel. That's just kind of how the deck works. So first combo we're going to go over is Time Thief Regulator. Just Time Thief Regulator gives you a ton of value. I believe it's 7 interruptions just by itself, and if you have an extender, it means 8 interruptions and a little more insurance. So yeah, starting with Regulator, might as well just get into it, okay? You're going to normal summon Regulator, you're going to tribute his effect, we're going to assume he resolves. We do play, well, you're probably going to play like 3 Gamma, some Ash to protect you from other Gammas, and like Called by the Grave. So you do have some other cards built in just to help you resolve a little better. Our 2 targets, they are the obvious ones, Winder and Adjuster. Winder, you're going to chain block these probably. You probably want to go Adjuster first, then Winder. Adjuster's effect is actually more important here because it gets you an extender, which is really big. So we are going to send Bezel Ship. By the way, Chrono Quarter, I'm not sure if it's needed in the deck. I'd almost rather play a second Bezel Ship than Chrono Quarter, straight up. And then we're going to use Winder. And Winder is going to grab us our Time Thief Retrograde. So that is in hand. Down here will be our hand. All right, then from here, we're going to make our first Exceed monster. We are going to overlay for Force Strix. We're going to detach. Doesn't really matter what you detached. We're going to use its effect to search. In fact, honestly, if you want to be even a little bit more safe, I mean, you already lost a Gamma. They wouldn't have Gammaed you on that. But if they had like Ogre or something, potentially, I actually would activate Bezel Ship here first, just to be safe, just to be a little bit safer there, just to guarantee yourself that body on board, even if you do get something like, Ogre. So then we're going to attach and we are going to search. The one you always want to search off of the first Force Strix is Singing Lanius. And if you already have Singing Lanius, then it's probably Strangle. So we're going to just special Singing Lanius immediately. And then we're going to take these 2 into our Link monster, Wise Strix. On summon, Wise Strix is going to activate to summon something from the deck. This is usually prime time for Raider's Wing. It's really nice to summon it out this way because then you get it in grave and then it summons itself back to the field again, which is really good. There. Then we are going to overlay these 2 for our second Wise Strix. Or sorry, Force Strix, I mean. From here, we're going to detach the Raider's Wing. Always detach the Raider's Wing here. I really think that's pretty important because otherwise you can just have it like stuck to your Force Strix and have it be really awkward. But we're going to search again because we're not a hard once per turn, only a soft once per turn. This time we're grabbing Strangle Lanius, and that's also going to trigger Wise Strix in a new chain link to set Soul Shave Force straight from the deck. At this point, you always just immediately shotgun the Soul Shave Force. This is going to essentially cut off the potential for your opponent to use Nibiru or anything of that matter. Any other hand trap, essentially, unless they really want to save in perm this long. But at that point, they've already lost the duel. So yeah, we're going to rank up Magic Force. We're going to reborn the Force Strix in grave, and we are going to drop an Infinity on top of it. Keep in mind, if you had to like do a combo starting with Strangle Lanius, you obviously wouldn't want to go for this because Infinity is the only target you're really summoning off of this. So the idea would be just grab a Phantom Knight to make rank up Magic launch, and then grab a second one when you're going into the Phantom Knight stuff, or just get a combination of Fogblade and Shade Brigandine instead. So it totally works there, but we're going to use that. We're going to get the Infinity. We are now Nibiru proof, and we are now set to do the rest of our combo for free. So summon Strangle Lanius. We're going to use Strangle Lanius' effect because we have Exceed monsters with Dark Material, so we can just reborn the Singing Lanius. Then we can use our Raider's Wing engraved, detaching the last material from Force Strix to get itself back from the field, or back from the grave to the field. And now we're pretty set up, right? We're kind of like set to go into whatever we want here. Really depends where you want to go with your end board. but I don't think it's anything too crazy here. So we're going to go 4 Strix and Y Strix. I'm usually not making Ultimate Falcon game one without any information on what my opponent's playing. Still a great tool to go into mid to late game, but I don't think for end boards it's not that important until you know it's a matchup where it's really good against. So for here, we're just going to go Rusty. We're obviously going to use Rusty's effect, and we're going to pitch our Silent Boots. Where is he? There he is, Silent Boots. And then we are going to set ourselves the Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic Force. We'll leave that face up just because. Then we will use Silent Boots effect Engrave, banishing itself when they will grab Shade Brigandine. Again, keep in mind, depending on how you did this combo, this is just specifically if you're going off of just Regulator. If you did a combo where you started with Shade as an extender to start your play, obviously you don't want Shade this here, so you're going like Rank Up Magic Force plus Fog Blade, and it's totally fine because you had the extra, you already used the Shade, you can't use it again. But yeah, so we're going to set that, and we're just going to activate it immediately just to summon himself, and we're just going to overlay for a Redoer, right? We have the Retrograde, so we want to make sure that's live, and we have the Shade, so it's made with a trap, so double disruptions there. And last but not least, we're going to overlay these two for Dark Rebellion XZ Dragon. He's actually untargetable, which is really nice because he's like 4 interruptions by himself. So the harder he is for your opponent to just like try and clear quickly, easily, simply, the better. But yeah, this is your end board off of just Regulator. This is the standard end board, game 1 going first, and you've got obviously the ability to quick rank up, which will trigger your Rusty for a pop. That's 1 disruption. You'll have 3 negates off of Dark Requiem once you make him using Dark Rebellion as material. That is 4 disruptions. You have a removal, quick removal off of Redoer, and potentially a draw if you rip a spell, which is really cool, which is 5. You have a Retrograde, so you have a Spell and Trap negate as well, which covers a lot of bases. Dark Ruler no more, Lightning Storm, Evenly Matched, all that stuff gets covered there. And you also have an Infinity negate, which is 7 disruptions, big, powerful disruptions off of just 1 card. If this combo resolves, you have won the duel. I'd be very hard-pressed outside of, like, Sphere mode. I'd be very hard-pressed finding, like, what deck beats this. But nobody's Sphere mode in game 1, so still not that worried about it. So that is the first combo. Obviously, it's insane. All right, guys, so the next combo is I want to show you what you want to do if you do have to go through Strangleanius. We do play him as a 3 because he's just simply a great extender in the deck. And so I wanted to show you what specifically you're going to try and do, because you're not going through the CDI route. Instead, you're going to go through some other routes because you are going to be locked into darks after you use his effect to summon from hand. But I also want to make a point here that you kind of see it in the first combo is to go combo, you literally just need to be able to make a rank 4 plus put another level 4 on the field. And we saw that with the Regulator combo, right? Regulator gets you 2 monsters on the field, and then you dump the Bezel Ship. There's your 2 monsters plus a level 4 Engrave. Yes, we got to also add the Retrograde. So you can do that same exact combo just without Retrograde if all your hand does is just put a rank 4 and another level 4 on the field. And we'll kind of show that here, but also if you're locked into darks where you really want to go for like that maximum board, if that's exactly what you have. 2 monsters, a rank 4 and a level 4, but you're locked into darks. So we're obviously going to start by normal summoning a Jester. We'll use her effect to send. Very simple here. We're just going to send the Bezel Ship. It is always your best option there. Then we're going to be forced to just use Strangleanius immediately. So we're already locked into darks, which is really tough, but that's okay. We are going to overlay here for 4 Strix, of course. We want to detach the Strangle. Doesn't really matter too much. Oh, again, don't forget, use your Bezel Ship first here. So we'll actually use Bezel Ship to detach Strangle, just so that if your opponent does have Ogre, we still get to keep the Bezel Ship, so fine. Then we'll detach to Search, but look here, we already have our rank 4 and a level 4. Look at that. Here we're going to grab Singing Lanius, same thing, and you're going to see very similar combo lines except for when it comes to the CDI stuff. So we'll special, we'll immediately link into the link 2. I'm going to go a little faster here. We'll do Y Strix effect to summon from deck. We want the Raider's Wing, of course. We'll make another 4 Strix. Detaching the Raider's Wing, always the Raider's Wing. This time you don't really want Strangleanius. I mean, like, you do, but like it's honestly just a a follow-up at this point, right? You already have a Raiders Wing engraved, so searching Raiders Wing doesn't do anything for you. You kind of just want another Strangleanius, but for follow-up, not even for this turn, because he can only summon himself once per turn via his effect in hand. So let's do Strangleanius. Then we can obviously resolve the Y-Strix. This will set us any rank up magic spell, and if it's a quick play, we can activate it this turn. So we'll grab the rank up magic force, and we'll set that. We'll just leave it face up so we know that it's there. And just keep in mind that Strangleanius is in hand. That's another thing that does get hurt by this combo as well, because you have to go through Strangleanius earlier in the combo. That means this search doesn't really do as much for you as you might hope, but that's okay. Okay, so from here we have to use our Raiders Wing engrave. We will detach the bezel ship off of our Force Strix to get himself back on field. Now from here you have a really, really interesting choice, because we could go, you have to decide whether you want to go Force Strix and Y-Strix or Raiders Wing with Y-Strix. I think the move is, it's really tough. So your end board's not going to be nearly as good, but it's still pretty good, right? So I think you have to use the Force Strix here. I don't think you get too cheeky. So we're going to use these two. We're going to make our Rusty. We're then going to use Rusty's effect on Summon to send, well, not on Summon, but we're going to use his effect to send our Silent Boots, and then we will set a, we want this guy, we want our Shade Brigandine here, because we have one level 4, but we want to make a little more use out of him here, of course. So we'll grab the Raiders. We'll activate so that we can pair him with the Raiders Wing to get another rank 4 on the field, which is very important. If you just opened one other extender in here, obviously things change immensely, because it means you can, you could have taken, you could have left your Force Strix on the field, and instead we're left a little bit, you know, in a little bit of a precarious spot here. But we're still going to overlay these two for our Dark Rebellion, because this just gives us our maximum potential for a lot of interruption here. And then we're going to finish by banishing our Silent Boots to get an additional search, just making sure I'm not missing anything. Engrave, and we will just grab our Fog Blade this time. So again, it's not crazy at all, but considering this was just a 2-card combo and you had to use a card that locked you into something pretty rough, you also need to consider that if we had opened any one other extender, we could have easily just taken the Raiders Wing, which means we would have been able to go rank up Magic Force, and we would have ended Ultimate Falcon plus a plus like the Dark Rebellion play, but no Fog Blade. So you just kind of swap the Fog Blade for a Ultimate Falcon, which I'm doing, you know, 10 times out of 10. I just think that's going to lead to more wins, but still, this is not bad. I mean, we have a pop, triple Monster Negate, and a Monster Negate on field. Now, obviously, you do lose to certain things like Spell and Trap removal, Lightning Storm, evenly matched, those kinds of things, but what are you going to do, right? We still got a card in hand, which means we had 3 other cards in hand plus this, so we'd have 4 cards in hand. If that's the case, there's probably a good chance you have an Ash in hand or another hand trap, something like Called by the Grave, and you could set it, right? And you're still kind of in a decent spot. But this is just very simply what you have to, where you want to go, ideally, if you have to go through Strangleanius, and I felt like that was pretty important to show, because it really does change the way you end up doing the combos. All right, guys, the last combo I want to show you today is bare bones, kind of like, this is if you draw like nothing but extenders, no actual starters. You're not even drawing like Winder, Adjuster, Regulator, even Bezel Ship as a normal summon. Like swap like 2 of these. If you just open Bezel Ship in this, you actually have full combo. But like, this is just the worst way to open combo, but it still gets you so far. And I want to show you specifically where I would want to go if you know your opponent is playing something like a trap-based deck, something like Shaddoll, because you can put up a board that they just like probably don't have an out to in their entire deck and side deck there. So this is specifically for those decks, and that's one of the biggest pluses of this deck is that you have so much versatility in the way you can end your boards, have so many different kinds of interruptions. You could just have straight up monster negates, Fog Blade, it's negating something on the field via a trap, retrograde, spell and trap negate, CDI, full negate, a pop off of Rusty Barty. It's just a free pop. You have so many ways to like put up different kinds of interruptions that you can tailor it to whatever the matchup is. But this one is specifically for a more trap-based deck, or you'll know the kind of deck I'm talking about once we get there. But yeah, starting this off the worst way, we're gonna normal summon a Dinotherium. Woo! We're gonna special Dinotherium from our hand, and then we're just gonna special our Hat Tricker. Very simply, like I told you before, a rank 4 plus a level 4 is full combo for this deck. And we're not opening anything awkward like Strangolanius or any of the other cards that kind of pull away from something you might do later in the combo. This is just simply set up this way. So we're going to attach a material and we're going to search. We're going to do a lot of the same stuff we've seen before. I'm just going to show you where we would go to change up our board at the end. So we're going to summon the Singing Lanius, then we will take these both into the Wise Strix. We'll use Wise Strix effect immediately, getting us... Where you at? Raider's Wing. We'll overlay these for a second 4 Strix. We'll detach the Raider's Wing to search again, this time the Strangolanius, and then we will of course use Wise Strix effect to set our Soulshave Force. All the same at this point, nothing too crazy different. We're going to activate our Soulshave Force, getting back the 4 Strix as material under Infinity. So now we are safe from monster effects. We're going to summon our Strangolanius. We're going to use his effect to reborn the Singing Lanius. Then we're going to detach our Hat Tricker off of the 4 Strix to bring back our Raider's Wing. And this is all fairly simple, right? Nothing's too crazy here. Like it's all kind of just the same. From here, though, we want to do a couple different things. I'm not too worried about Fog Blade in a back row matchup. It's just not really what I'm hyper concerned with in any way. So I think from this point, I just do not care about the going for another rank 4. I actually would rather keep 4 Strix, and you'll see why in a second. We will go into Rusty. We will use Rusty's effect to dump Boots to set ourselves one of our PK rank ups, and then we'll banish Boots to add the other PK rank up. Now this made me look strange, like, John, why do you have both of these? But you'll see. You will see. This shit is crazy. We are still locked into darks because just to even have the explosivity of this combo, you do have to go through Strangolanius. So it is what it is, but still. Okay, from here, we actually want to immediately rank up Magic Force, targeting the 4 Strix. And we'll banish 3 from grave. So Singing Lanius, Wise Strix. It has to be another dark. Oh, I don't have a dark in grave yet. That is actually a problem. Yeah, because usually you don't go through a combo with this. You'll probably have another dark. That's okay though. It's not the end of the world. I'll figure it out in a sec. We actually don't have to activate this just yet. But we can go into these two and make us, you can do a couple different things here. It really depends where you want to go. You probably just want to go into Dark Rebellion. I know it's monster negates. Is Dark Rebellion really worth? No, okay. So the best way to do it here, I think, is actually Redoer. Like versus a trap deck, you just don't care about Dark Rebellion. It just like doesn't do any, or Dark Requiem. It just doesn't do anything for you. So for here, we're actually just going to go into Redoer. And here's the thing, right? Because now we can just do like Redoer effect, detach to just like banish himself to the end phase, which puts Darks in grave so that now we can rank this up. We'll target the 4 Strix, of course. We'll banish the Strangle. We'll banish the Wise Strix and the Singing Lanius for 3. So that way we can make a 7, which allows us to make our Arsenal Falcon. From here, we'll trigger Rusty to pop the Arsenal Falcon, and then Arsenal Falcon's effect will trigger Engrave to revive itself while also attaching itself, well, not reviving itself, but it will summon another Raid Raptor Exceed from extra deck while equipping itself as material. So we now have an Ultimate Falcon, and our Redoer will come back on end phase. We'll get a material from our opponent on standby phase, And this is kind of the board we're looking at. Same thing, just simply a rank 4 plus a level 4, and you can end CDI for an Omni Negate, so spell and traps work too. A pop here, so if they try to go end phase, like just end phase, you can rank up the Redoer into whatever you want, really. I mean, it doesn't even have to be anything crazy. All we need is 1 Dark Engrave, which is our 4 Strix, and we can just plop like the Requiem on top or the Arc Rebellion for OTK reasons, while also just getting a pop a back row. Then we have CDI for a negate, and we still always have Ultimate Falcon, which is just always unnegated. And Redoer I like in this combo, not only because it puts the Darks Engrave, that's only specific to this version because we did the combo with like the only non-dark extenders in the deck. But also because this card's really annoying for trap-based decks. They're not killing you super easy, and he just like continually tags out. They try to torrential you, he dodges. They try to needle sealing you, he dodges. Evenly, Lightning Storm, whatever. He just continually comes back as a big body, and especially if it's a trap deck, he's gonna get a trap every once in a while, and now he's just disrupting your opponent now. So I think this is probably like just simply off of that start, this is like the best you can do versus a deck like Trap Shaddoll, Altergeist, Guru, those kinds of decks, right? First off, they probably just can't even beat Ultimate Falcon, but throw in the fact that you have a pop, an Omni Negate, and the nuisance that Redoer presents, you probably just can't lose that duel, to be honest. So that's the last combo I really wanted to show you. I mean, a lot of the combos just go through the same sequence, right? Make 4 Strix, add a Singing Lanius, summon the Singing Lanius, and then you make Y Strix and pop off from there. All that really changes is just like depending on what card specifically you had to go through early combo, like Strangle Lanius, like some of these other cards. If you hard open Singing Lanius, you have to search something else. Whether or not you're going to go Soul Shave Force, and really just deciding like what's worth and when, because you might have already opened Peace. If you go through Shade Brigandine early in the combo, stuff like that, and you'll learn that over time. It's really not too much. I mean, in the past week, I've pretty much learned all this stuff that I didn't know before about the deck. So it's really not too hard. Don't be discouraged if it seems like a lot out the gate. Honestly, just be excited because this deck is so cool, so powerful, and I hope you guys give it a chance. So that's going to do it for me here today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about this deck? Are you going to give it a shot? Do you think there's some other things I should try in the deck? I've looked at Allure, but Allure is sometimes really awkward because I've had hands where I have to banish like Silent Boots because I just drew it. And then getting late game, it could be really awkward once you get to Rusty to not send Boots. So they're just like really, really awkward things that can happen with Allure, but it is consistency at the end of the day, and that is one of the biggest flaws of the deck. So yeah, but like I said, let me know in the comment section down below what you're thinking there on the deck in general. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you in the next one. Subscribe if you haven't, and bye. Yeah, bye.